DevOps Reframed, embracing the path to developer productivity. Awesome, thank you.
Hey, welcome. I hope you enjoy those days Nashville. That's the first. I've spoken here before that it's my first those days Nashville as a local, and I love it. It's great. So I hope you love it too. Right. So let's talk about looking at DevOps from a little bit different perspective. First of all, conspiracy theory. You're gonna love this one. I hope we will land somewhere here and not go all the way to this part. It's a very solid, based in reality conspiracy theory. Hear me out. DevOps is an elaborate plot of ops people designed to make developers work harder. I have proof. My name is Baruch Sadogurski. I'm at jbaruch on Twitter, X, or whatever, Blue Sky, whatever it's called today. I'm a developer productivity advocate with the company called Gradle. If you ever used Java, heard about Java or anything like that, you probably heard about Gradle. It's a very popular build tool in the Java ecosystem, but the company actually does much more, and we see ourselves now as doing developer productivity engineering, which we're going to talk about. So, started as a developer, and then pivoted with DevOps, with another company that you might have heard about called JFrog, and now doing developer productivity engineering, so being on all the parts of the spectrum, and this is why I'm the one who discovered the conspiracy. Yes? DevOps tools for Java developers, which kind of touches on all the points of my career, is one of the books that we are going to raffle tomorrow in the end of the conference. We have some of those books here. I will be happy to sign. Liquid Software is another one that we don't have here, but okay. Okay, the most important slide of this talk is this one. If you go to speaking.jbaruch, you will find there the slides, the video, and all the links, including everything that I'm going to speak about, and all the evidence, forensic evidence for the conspiracy theory. In order to make it very easy for you, it's in the bottom of every slide, together with the Twitter handle of DevOps Days Nashville, and DPE being a very helpful hashtag of developer productivity engineering when you praise this talk, obviously, on social. All right, so as I mentioned, used to be a developer, now doing stuff that related to both developer and DevOps, and this is why I'm the one who's talking about it. Exhibit A, the Phoenix Project. Who read the Phoenix Project? It's DevOps Day, so everybody? What? Okay, I'll assume that whoever didn't raise their hand didn't pay attention to what I asked. Because there is no way you didn't read the Phoenix Project. This is the most important book in the entire DevOps space. So maybe there is someone from the convention center who go read this book as well. The cover of this book is all you need to know to get absolutely sure that I'm right about my conspiracy theory. This is all the people on the cover are the main characters of this book, and we'll just take a look who are there. The text is a little bit small, I'm going to read from here. So Patty is over there, and she's the director of IT service support, IT person. This is Wes, he's director of distributed technology ops, very ops person. Sarah, she's the protagonist, she's also ops, but retail ops, so it doesn't really count. Steve, CEO, acting CIO, fine. Dick, CFO, fine. This is Bill Palmer. He is the protagonist, the main character of the book. Generally, what the book is about how Bill invented DevOps and transformed the entire organization from being a failed one to being a very successful one by using DevOps. And he is obviously an ops guy. He's a VP of IT Ops, right there. And then who else do we have? Eric, the board member, fine. Brent, lead sysadmin, very ops. And John, the security, he hides there because everybody kicks him when he goes around. Never mind, I'll spoil the book. So anyway, anyone's missing? Right? No developers. Book about DevOps, no developers. None. Well, there are there are developers in the book. And you know what? Later I will share you how they look in the book, in case you didn't notice. So anyway, exhibit 2. Who teaches us about DevOps? Just go on Google and see who preaches DevOps. Let's see. So Amazon.com, Ops platform. Atlassian, the DevOps company. Ops, right? GitLab, well, obviously, they preach that they have automated DevOps in a box or something, right? And then Microsoft Azure, it's an Ops platform. Who else is here? TechTarget, the journalist, okay. Wikipedia, fine. Synopsys, they do a mix of DevOps and Dev Consulting, that's okay. And then Logs.io, obviously Logs, Ops. And then towards the bottom there, IBM, wanna be an Ops platform. It's all Ops, like generally, and like everywhere you look. So yeah, that's the story. And the question is why? Why do Ops people try to come up with, or not try, but successfully come up with DevOps? What's in DevOps that makes it so successful and so important for Ops people? Well, here is a valid question. As a Linux system administrator, how do I shift my career to DevOps? Asked and answered long ago on Quora, and the answer by a DevOps trainer is, okay, so basically go ahead, make yourself familiar with concepts like AWS, and then on top of that, learn tools like Git, Chef, Maven, Jenkins, Puppet, Docker. So basically, just learn a bunch of Ops stuff and Git, and boom, you are a DevOps something, DevOps engineer, I guess. And then next thing you know, you started as a system administrator, you got this salary, and then you're a DevOps engineer, and you got this salary, which is nice. All you have to do is learn Git, apparently, on top of your Ops skills. You know what, next thing you know, there are tons of jobs, and we have economic downturn, what's not, still 20,000 jobs for DevOps engineers, and next thing you know, DevOps engineer certifications, more money to everybody, because, you know, AWS will earn from certifying you, and then you will get more money from being DevOps engineer, whatever that means, and everybody are happy. Don't get me started on the entire DevOps engineer thing. We'll get to it in a second. I need to build up my rage. It's coming. But I'm still not convinced, right? In the end of the day, the story with the money came later, when DevOps was already a success. And if you ask why many, many times, you will eventually get to truth, or you will become an engineering manager. Where is Leonid? Right here. Am I right? Yeah. Right, but yeah, it's not the money wasn't there when it all started. John Willis was just here, and he's still somewhere around. You can ask him about first DevOps days. No one knew that it's going to blow up. It was just a bunch of nerds discussing how they're gonna take over the world and make developers work harder. But they didn't know that there is money in it. So why? This is why. And this is, by the way, exactly how developers described in the Phoenix project, for a good reason. And this is why. This is why DevOps was born, right? So eventually, yes, Ops people wanted the Dev people to take responsibility, to do more, to own the product, their product, to take it to production with their help. So yes, this is true. The conspiracy theory is very, very true. DevOps is about developers work harder for a very good reason. Right? So yeah, developers should be like, yeah, okay, we understand why. But not really. For some reason, they don't want to take this responsibility. They don't want to work harder. They don't want to deploy to production by themselves. Right? I wonder why. So 10 years, more than 10, closer to 15 now, developers still aren't excited about DevOps. Funny story about this GIF. If you search, by the way, it's GIF. If you search for a GIF of being sad and then going to happy, there is none. There is tons of being happy and then going to sad, but not the other way around. It says something very profound about our community. I have no idea why. And I had to reverse the GIF in a video editor to make it. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah. The range about DevOps engineer. That's the hill that not only I'm going to die for, I feel I am going to die for. And one of the conferences I will have a stroke on stage just shouting that DevOps engineer is not a thing. DevOps engineer is not a thing because it makes as much sense as collaboration engineer. Because DevOps is a set of practices and culture about collaboration. It's not an engineering practice. If you make it into engineering practice, next thing you know, you have DevOps teams. Who have DevOps teams in their organization? Yeah, and this is DevOps conference, you should know better. And after you have DevOps teams, next thing you know what? I have slides for that. Right? So, DevOps team, this is what your managers see when they heard the term DevOps team. This is what I see. You created yourself a silo. Now, Silo is a fascinating documentary about DevOps. It's a dystopian TV show about how in a ruined and toxic world, thousands live in a giant silo. This is DevOps team, literally. And obviously, next thing you know when you have the silo is, well, we need a collaborative technique. We need to bridge the gap between the DevOps teams and the developer teams. Let's come up with a new movement, and we'll call it DevOps. Because we want to bridge Dev and DevOps. Anyway, DevOps engineer is not a thing. DevOps. But, jokes aside, there is an engineering aspect of DevOps, right? It's reality. Basically, someone has to write the YAML files. And people at Google came up with a term. And this term is SRE. Liz von Jones and Seth Largo, wonderful people, developer advocates at Google, have an entire series of videos about how SRE, site reliability engineers, implement DevOps. From a technical point of view, that's the engineering in DevOps. The problem is, and it's weird to say it about Google, the term is terrible. It's really, really bad. Story from another time, from JFrog, we had an opening for DevOps engineer. And obviously, I was like on the verge of having a fit. The best company that understands DevOps and me speaking at all the stages about how DevOps engineer is not a thing, introducing myself at JFrog. Everybody who go to JFrog website, boom, an opening for DevOps engineer. And I come to our managers and I say, people, what the actual heck? You know better, you know there is no, and they're like, sure, but we tried. We put site reliability engineer on the website and we asked people, do you want to join as site reliability engineer? And everybody like, no, we don't know how to support WordPress websites. When people see site reliability engineer, they think about they need to maintain the website. It's really, really bad name. And this is one of the reasons why DevOps engineer became a thing, because there was no better term. But now we have it. It's called platform engineering. Platform engineering is so new and so shiny that no one really knows what it is. It's exactly like DevOps 10 years ago. And some people say, and this is Scott Shaw, like a very, very smart guy, huge respect, and he's the Chief Technology Officer for ThoughtWorks, one of the leading company in thought leadership for APAC. DevOps engineers are rebranding themselves in platform engineers. Who see that happening? A lot. Yeah, so yeah, some people do. John, you agree that this is happening? Yeah. So right, this is happening. And the reason why DevOps engineers are branding themselves platform engineers, first of all, maybe it will pay more again if they learn something like it. But jokes aside, a lot of people feel bad with the term and think that platform engineer is much better. And everyone want to be platform engineer, which is great. You see how Smarm framed this picture? There are no fingers on this picture for a very good reason. Yes. What platform engineer has to do with DevOps? So how platform engineering different from DevOps or not? Platform engineering versus DevOps, what's the difference? We are not sure. What else is here? Platform engineer, what's the difference? What is platform engineer? No, basically no one knows. That's great. It's a great opportunity. So what ChatGPT thinks about it? Platform engineering is about building and maintaining scalable infrastructure and services that enable developers to effectively deploy and run applications. So it's basically someone who writes all the YAML files. Well, basically, yes. Which is great. That's exactly who we needed. And I'm very happy about that. So yeah, platform engineer is what we try to unsuccessfully call SRE, and this is great. It works for us. And with that, I consider DevOps solved. We figured it out. We know exactly what to do. We know how to do it. We have the technology. We have the methodology. Really, this pesky DevOps engineer thing was the last thing that was annoying, and now it's solved. Perfect. We figured out DevOps. We used to show this diagram, and it was absolutely useless. And then Leonid and myself figured a better version of this diagram. This. Now, this diagram made much more sense. It's something together with people, process, and tool something, right? But what? Well, how about it's productive people using productive process and productive tools to create value. That sounds like something that all of us can get behind. And as I mentioned, we figured DevOps out. It's solved. We know exactly what's going on. The productive process is empowered teams. Is where we put developers and ops people and product people and security people together and quality people together, and they work on a product as a team. We know how to do it. How many of you, by the way, do it? Yeah, exactly. But we know we should do it, right? Well, obviously. So yeah, the solution is there. No one uses it, but it's there. Productive tools also solved. Kinda, sorta. Well, you know, we can call Kubernetes productive tool with a wink, with 2 eyes, but yeah, kinda, sorta. How about productive people? What makes people, software engineers, productive? Well, the pain is still real. 90% people we asked experience challenges with too much time spent waiting on build and test feedback, for example. This is not productive. And then there are others like CI failures, ability to troubleshoot CI failures. Your build failed. Do you know on CI? Do you know where to go? And insufficient observability on build and test performance and regressions. Do we know if our build is fast or it's slow? Is it getting faster or getting slower with time? It's getting slower, by the way. The pain of these obstacles of not being productive is real. And Gradle in general, and I'm a personal, feel that the next frontier is developer productivity. Because developer productivity is the production system of your production systems, right? This is what creates your production systems. And DevOps is all about improving production systems, observability, and monitoring, and progressive delivery. And there are so many techniques about how we make productive systems better. But what about the production systems of your production systems? So here's the take. Developer productivity engineering is this missing piece of this triangle of Productive people, effective people, effective processes, and effective tools. What is developer productivity engineering? Here are some examples of tenet that developer productivity engineering is. The most important, or one of the most important, is foster faster feedback. Now, this is something that we take from DevOps. DevOps is all about faster feedback, right? It's about shorter iterations, it's about experiments. Why we are doing it? We want to experiment the same with our production environment. The faster we'll get the feedback that we did something wrong, the better our quality will be and the more productive we will be. Eliminate toil. This is as DevOps as it gets. But for developers, how about that? Collaborative through effective tooling. Again, we spoke about effective tooling for running our production environments, containers and such. What about effective tooling for developing? Prioritize automation and eliminate bottlenecks. Hello, Dr. Godrath. Hello, the Phoenix Project. Hello, all the work that John Willis is doing. This is all about prioritization, automating, and eliminating bottlenecks, but for your development environments. Embrace rigorous observability. Hey, observability, it's all about DevOps, it's all about observability. But again, not only for production, but also for development environments. Dedicated organizational mindset. This one is very interesting. I'm going to get to it in a second. And outcomes over output. Again, we just hear about how important it is to find the information with the sheer noise of everything that the production system thrown us. It's actually the same for development. Who recently looked at the build outcome and was like, well, this is very clear. It helps. Almost every IT organization agreed that since integrating developer productivity engineering, the time savings we experience on build and test cycles have dramatically improved developer productivity. And my favorite slide is this one because it has joy on the slide. Makes it my favorite. Developer productivity engineering fosters developer joy. Not surprisingly, probably the same 84% agree that it gives them joy. Now, the thing is, lots of people in the organization will say developer productivity engineering is not my job. That might look familiar because a lot of people in the organization used to say DevOps is not my job. And we somehow overcome this. How did we overcome this? Well, DevOps take care of the product. It's naturally on top of everybody's mind. Developer productivity engineering tackles more productive work, so it kind of slips away. Even if you figured out a way to speed up your build and now it's very fast, probably in half a year it will be slower, and if you don't think about it all the time, and that's the organizational mindset, it will slip away. So the organizational structure for DevOps, we don't need DevOps tools because everybody are obsessed with the product. With developer productivity engineering, specialized team, at least in the first step of where organizations are, is very, very important. And this is exactly what happens. The best developer productivity organizations do have teams that is focused on developer experience. Snowflake hiring, and LinkedIn hiring, and Microsoft is hiring, and Spotify is boasting about how developer productivity organization helped them, and Netflix hiring, and Elastic, and it's a thing. This team for those organizations is the one that makes sure that all the developers and all the software engineers are productive and take care of the production environment for their production environment. So I personally see it as an evolution. DevOps, SRE, platform engineers, DPE. So yeah, DevOps solves ops concerns. It's a fact. I proved it to you without any doubt. But it is a collaboration methodology. It's not an engineering practice. It requires engineering practices, and call it SRE, call it platform engineering, someone has to write those YAML files. There is an engineering aspect to it. But what about people productivity? production system of your production systems is the developer productivity engineering. And that's another pillar of DevOps. So with that, there is a place to go and find more, and that will be speaking.jbaruch. There is a page for this talk. You go there, and you find tons of information about developer productivity engineering. You can try it yourself. There are some challenge that you can go ahead and try and improve your developer productivity and see what happens. There is a DP handbook and the DP summit that is coming on us in September in San Francisco. If I piqued your interest and you want to learn more about developer productivity engineering and maybe start your developer productivity engineering transformation in your organization, that will be a great place to visit and ask me for a nice discount. Yeah, shameless plug. Java Nashville user group. How many of you excited about Java? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Nashville, not just Java user group. I officially renamed it today in Meetup, so now it is Nashville, not just Java user group. And that's because we really do more than talk about Java. For example, July 18th, Thursday next week, we're going to talk about testing. Last week, Leonid, who just left the room, did a great ask me. Here's back. Did great ask me anything about engineering management, and it was a great session. So we do mostly what we speak about is not Java. So, and I'm very sad that it's not getting more popularity. So please take a look. We bring great speakers, and I want you all to be there. Speaking about great events in Nashville, that's all shameless plug by now. Engineers Only conference. It's going to happen August 6th. The link, you know where? In speaking.jbaruch. And this is a conference about startup scene, really. So if you are into startups and want to start your own startup, want to join a startup in a very early stage, high risk, high reward kind of thing, if that's your thing, come there. Zap, who is the main organizer, is going to veto you if you're a real engineer, I guess by looking at your LinkedIn. So if you need to tweak something, that would be a good time before you sign up. And it's free. We will announce the location soon enough. So there are good stuff happening locally. I'm very excited. With that, thank you very much. @jbaruch everywhere. Nashville DevOps is the Twitter handle to talk about this event and this talk in particular. Speaking.jbaruch, the video, the slides, the links for everything, including on the events, is there. And with that, thank you very much. We have 2 minutes for questions.
Yeah, I'd love to get 2 minutes for questions. We don't have any questions.
Or we can just go and get coffee. That's a valid option.
I cannot believe no one asked, do I get more money if I do DevOps?
That's, we need to figure that one out, right? It's early days, so there are not a lot of salary surveys. But if we look at the DevOps stream, it's the same idea, right? Basically, you do the same with Gits. We need to find a good replacement. And then you get more money. That's definitely certificates, maybe, right? So yeah, no, we will figure it out. It's been done with DevOps. We're going to do it again with DPE, for sure.
So if anyone is interested in developing a DPE course so we can sell on Udemy.
All right. Now we will start a revolution, and someone will do a talk about how everything is a scam invented on DevOps Days Nashville to sell more certificates. Sounds good.
Excellent. Okay. We thank you, Brooke. I really appreciate it.
Sure. You need the okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So we have just a couple of quick